So this morning, Mr. Jones said that, of course, his section heads are here to answer your questions later on. So he will talk about what is PGSO, how important is this department. So, Mr. Jones.
So, may buntag tanan. Buntag. So, allow me to introduce lang or reintroduce to you what is PGSO and how significant this department and the pursuit of providing better public service. No? So, paliw ko sa first slide. No? So, during the start, nag-start pa man ko last year. No? So, I was fortunate na strategic planning introduced ang Capitol last year. And then, this is one of the results of our strategic planning. And this is the vision of the General Services Office. An orderly department working with a high-level teamwork supporting the provincial government of Cebu in the efficient management of all physical resources, facilities, properties geared towards a progressive peaceful province of Cebu. So mo gini among ginadamgo. The way for us to pursue this one is to support the provincial government of Cebu efficiently and effectively in delivering basic services through the provision of adequate facilities as well as specialized services which require general services expertise and technical support. So the next slides that I'm going to present to you, let me walk you through what has been 12 months activities that PGSO has been involved, and then what are in the pipeline for the coming 12 months. Okay. So the key result area for this department is, una, efficient management of province-owned real estate and personal properties. That's why Paul and Tess are here. So just imagine, we manage so much real estate properties not only in Cebu City but also located in the provinces. At the same time, since we're managing the personal properties of the capital, the district hospitals, including the courts, that's the job of our personal property section under Tester Doble to make sure that all are accounted. Ensure sufficient supply of goods services needed for the province, especially in the operations like the amount of fuel that we need to stock out, the amount of goods that PSWD needs to put up just in case there are relief operations that we need to do. All province-owned facilities are well kept and secured. This office is also taking charge of the housekeeping. All janitors and all security guards are also reporting in this office. So that's part of our role to make sure that all these government-owned facilities are well managed, clean, and orderly. And lastly, two parts of the procurement process is part of this department. First is the Bids and Awards Committee. Second is the payment section. So a big component of the expeditious processing of the request until payment really rests in our department. So it's a mandate for us to make sure that we analyze, we look at the system flow, and then hope we can improve the process and to the betterment also to the suppliers and the other constituents. The next slide, please. So far, the past 12 months, these are some key points lang that I thought I would like to share with you. We had a strategy planning in February 2014, a team building in May, and then we did our back reorganization in June. We used to have two backs, infra and goods. Governor decided to merge the two into one, so we now have one back, and then we now have a permanent back office, which is located at the former PLO office, lower ground floor. We also reorganized the payment section because we realized we're not very responsive to the processing time, the aging of our billing. So we try to address this one, and it's still work in progress. Creation of containment team. Part of the mandate that the governor has given us is to make sure that all real estate properties are protected from illegal informal settlers. So those free province-owned properties, we are now doing fencing operations. So we're starting here somewhere in Lahog, and then we have fenced already nearly 3 hectares. So we're pushing for more hectareage because we thought it's a better way of deterring people to trespass into the government-owned property, so that when the time comes when the government needs to use these properties, it will be easier to make decisions. And then we also realized that we need to do some upgrade and evaluations how we do communication and monitoring in Capitol, so we did that. And then part because we have so much clutter also in our office, we did 5S with the help of HR. And then we formed this operations logistics team, really in charge of making sure that anytime there's a relief operations for disaster response, we are there to support, especially led by the warehouse team. And this one, this is something new, and I think we will have a formal launch for this one, but let me just give you a sneak peek on what's going on with our operations. This is called ELOMS, Electronic LGU Operations Management System. So we have already the program, we have already created the platform, and then the vision here is to automate the whole business processing from the time we make the PR until the time payment is made. So the goal here is, next slide please. So the goal here is to achieve transparency and accountability, maximize efficiency, reduce cost, and increase supplier satisfaction by ensuring prompt payment of purchase orders. So this is the advantages would be employees can now concentrate more on core businesses, which is the public service, increase efficiency and productivity of the local government unit, streamline the province business operations, especially in analyzing and looking at our limited resources and where to put them better, and provides overall cost advantage, because now we will be able to utilize resources in better places, and lastly adapt to changes. So the next slide will tell you the items that will be covered by this electronic automation that we're pursuing. So we have started with PGSO. Now and payroll, we're now moving into fixed asset management, managed by Pestre Doble, and including the inventory control. We're also working with budget to make sure that as we prepare for budget for 2016, it will now be automated, and now it will be done faster. The PAC will also be part of the ambitious goal of automating everything. So kini murag makita na to nga kada process ma-monitor na nato, kada process ma-measure na nato how many days we can do it, and we can benchmark best practices, and hopefully we can improve and be a good role model as far as managing our resources and our operations. So these are the common activities you see on the right, the PR, OBR, PO, disbursement. These are all items done manually. No? We're not aiming for paperless, we're just aiming for less paper. So less paper management. So, because we cannot do away with real paper, because we need the documents to pass through some offices. But the advantage of this one is now we can track everything. Now we can pre-inform the next approving officer that something is incoming in his computer, and to just keep on warning him that he needs to do something about it. Okay, next slide please. So this is the window that you will see later on. So allow me to give the chance to the good governor to launch this one formally once this is really fully functional. But we're targeting end of March to have this fully running. And then lastly, key projects in the pipeline, which we think we hope we can implement this year. We need to revisit again with our team the strategic plans so that we can be better in responding to needs. We will have a new PABX system in Capitol. So more about when we think of Capitol, we only think of one line, and then all are connected na. Either you connect to a local number or something, and then And the vision here is something that it can also become a control center once disaster happens. So, dual ang purpose ng itong PMDX system. Improve security CCTV. So, we want to level up because this is a first-class province. We want to make sure that we also have first-class security coverage. Landscaping, this is one of the common requests, especially for those who has been in capital. So, we're thinking of improving the appearance or how the landscape and hardscape in front and at the back. No? But we need also to consider the other development proposals for the whole capital compound. We're aiming to buy more service vehicles to become more mobile, responsive whenever there's an opportunity to help other people. And as you mentioned already, the heavy equipment is part of the big project NIGO this year. So we're hoping to have this also in play. And then all towns and component cities, we plan to upgrade all their radio, how do you call that, the two-way radio, so that when during disaster, we always find it difficult to communicate with them because sometimes signals are affected during typhoon. So we're thinking of having this one upgraded, and this one, all of these have already the low signal of our good governor, Governor David. And last, there's a province-owned property in Minglanilla. We're now doing the surveying. We plan to have these lots given to our government, capital government employees. So I think at a glance, these are what you can probably expect from PGSO for this year. Thank you.
So the floor is now open for questions. Because Joel has already comprehensively discussed or detalyado naman ito yung discussion nila. So, would like to shoot the first question. Ang favorite ni Suset, si Sir Oka.
Seniority.
Seniority ko no, it was Michael.
Yung buntag. Ako si Oscar Pineda sa Star Daily. Sir, interesado, I believe interesado ang mga media aning loans. What specific advantage para sa atong katawan, mga taxpayer? Kung specific advantage ang ilang makuha aning loans? For example, sa ka-ordinaryong tao mo na sa Kapitolyo na doon na siya transaction bitaw. Ano sa advantage ang loans, sir?
Una, kung when we're talking about possible suppliers na siya, yung tabang sa itong Kapitolyo to provide affordable quality products, mas standardized na nato ang atong pricing. Dili na kada offices, manatay price reference kami, amo man among palit sa una. So karon karon ang mahitabuan ato na ni siyang i-standardize ang atong pricing. Standardize na nato ang atong units of measurement. Standardize na nato ang so mahitabuan we remove biases, we remove discretion from offices to make their own price quotation. So karon is now dictated based on previous approved and delivered purchase orders. So na siya na history. Secondly, ang advantage na siya, Sir Oscar, is we imagine, because we can now be on top of the aging process for each step of the way, payments for suppliers will become faster. You know, the dream here is to make it, to link it to our website, so that when anyone who wants to see where the PO is, where their PR is, what's the status of their transaction with Capital, na makita na nila, no? So that's how we want to become very transparent, no? Improve ang atong transparency, and then ang accountability. People can now see the pricing. People can now see the different procurements that we want to do, what we have done, and if there's any question, you can just log on to our website in the future or to our computers, where we can probably put a kiosk for you to browse. and then you can get more data.
As you remember, when Governor David first came into office, yan nag-emphasize on transparency. So this is part of his program to have the Kapitolyo transparent in all aspects. Any question? Follow to the next question. Yes, Mr. Michael. Iyan ka naman ng banner story.
Banner story talaga.
Banner story.
Sir, good morning. Good morning, ma'am. Kining Iloms, unsa man ni siya paday pa ni siya sa next administration, or do you have a plan nga kuha na siya ihimo ordinance nga i-adopt sa the next kuan sa succeeding administrations?
The goal here is kung pwede, kung kinsay may mo muda sa Kapitolyo after ni Go, kung ganahan sila, we're presenting a non-biased program. We're presenting something will make management of resources more efficient. So there will be back-end reports here that the department heads, the administrator, and the governors will have visibility for them to easily check and navigate where's the money is going, how much is the utilization, how much is the budget. So per department and per item, he can easily manage it through sorting and filtering. And like now, which we do it manually, and then each offices are doing their own monitoring, wala tayo central processing. So what we're trying to do here is to make data more accessible so that to decision makers, so that decisions are done better also.
In connection sa pangutanan ni Sir Michael, is there a way na ma-institutionalize kaning good practice of transparency para like having an ordinance to kundi para ma-continuous ang kuan? Is there a way to institutionalize this?
We will bring it up with the governor and also discuss it with the legislative. Maybe one billion number can take up on your suggestion. But right now, our focus is to launch this first. Ma-realize niya siya, implement, workable din siya, doable din siya ba? Magaling siya itong first step. So we will go to that next step later. Ms. Storya, you have a question? Or Kitgano, Salazar?
Yes, on the question that's not related to e-loans. Kaning sa I'm interested in the laws for capital employees. May you expand this or kung ano siya?
Paul and Tara will help me in a while, but there's a Minglanilla property currently occupied. Part of it, more than a hectare, is occupied by the Gawad Kalinga group. And then it used to be intended for housing for Gawad Kalinga, but the contract, the agreement has expired. No? So we decided to have a different program for this one. Paul, can you expound more?
Ano po kita kinabutan? Ang dami ka ng iyutan na ito sa Minglanilla para nita na sa Gawad Kalinga. Then, from 2008 to 2013, only 96 structures have been built. So the province decided to, kanal lang ihatag na ito sa Gawad Kalinga. Then, the present administration, pagkaibaw na kanal na lang area, ang sobra na 7.3 hectares i-allot na ito sa Kapitolyo employees for housing project.
Kung ako kalimutan na. Will this be available for permanent employees only?
We will come up with a guideline. We understand there has been a similar program in the previous administration. They're now located in Kalunasan and somewhere here in Lahore. So we're looking at probably copying some of those guidelines and we'll evaluate maybe incorporating more.
So this will include sabihin here ang payment scheme and everything is available, how long,
Who can avail, which financial institution will partner with us, and how much will the rate per square meters in the total package for each of the possible beneficiary.
Ano kay Claire, sir, ma'am? Ang kani siyang yung tadyas Mingalia, sir, pila ka hectares dito na? Diba you mentioned, 7.3 lang ang nabilin? Pila siya sa mga last area?
Actually, ang total area is 8.4 hectares. Then, 1.09 may alam na ito sa Gawad Kalinga only. The remaining 7.3 hectares will be allotted to Kapitolyo Place for housing project.
Do we have a time frame, sir, kung ano sa siguro ni ma-realize?
Nata sa stage karon nga because the surveying expense is quite big. So we're having it bidded now. So I think that's tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 19. I think it's the 19th in the schedule. When is the 9th? The surveying? The surveying. 19?
Pre-bidding pa.
Pre-bidding pa? Pre-bidding pa rin. So we're hoping by June, mahuman na next survey tanan and then the governor can decide. Si governor yan po na mo decide. We're just doing the legworks.
Yes, Mr. June.
Siguro man ito pag may amigo si Ikas, no? So, pagka natin sa status nila ng luna dyan sa may EDP kita sa katong international school. Going pa ba ang kaso, ano? O wala na itong mabalo? What is that?
Actually, ang sudan pag-check mo siya. Tapos si Butilis Club.
Anong, di ba sa province lahat, mga po ng wala ang pangsatista?
At bang sa tisda o natulad to sa province lang kaya siya.
Kung di ba kiklaan matong mga di-pailan ng kaso, yung nag-update ano?
Actually, ka lang mga kibans niya, kung talaga yung ililagay na to sa Planilla. Ang response lang, by Council of Kaburo, mutong last kontaon, October 11, 2011, yung last kontan na para sa transfer dito, niya na duty may response, tuwakan dito na sa Planilla. Kaya may tanong na ron, na-promise na niyo kung saan na sila, nawakan sila mo response sa relocation site.
Kung di pa ilan nagkaso ng mga nililito?
Wala pa.
Actually, gawin na siya yung task force na create si Governor on real property. So, kada na siya ng committee or task force yung handle na mga concerns.
Pero sa mga occupants nila, sa syudad?
During 2007 census, there are 360 actual occupants.
Yes, Mr.
Sir, kahapon, there was discussion with Governor Davide na recommendation ang Economic Enterprise Council na i-privatize ang South Bus Terminal. And then Governor Davide, agreeable siya na although diyan po siyang still under discussion pa na karon o mga siya o opinion sa legislative. And then kami sila, sir, wala po sila kita-out, sir, pero kami si Governor Davide, kami mga legislators, maayon na sila sa pag-manage, pag-tanaw sa ilang mga constituents. Pero kamo, sir, kamo, mga sakit, maayon mo mo tanaw kung unsay advantageous, kung unsay really advantageous. So, ako pumatama sa imo, Sir Paul, makaayo ba yung mag-privatize aning CSBD? Kaning pag-privatize, ang definition ni Governor Daviliana is ato pagyapo ng lahat, ato pagyapo ng structures, pero ato i-build out sa private sector kung kinsay mo manage, para di natin mag-problema sa mga bus o sa mga security. So, inyong opinion, sir, sa inyong tanaw na, sir?
Una, sa land usage, akong tanaw, ang CSBT Magod is located in a very prime commercial property. No? If ang usage niya is sinunaan ang level lang, murag makakaingon dito na, murag napaunta siya pwede potential mga mahimo, di ba? Okay, you can just mirror ka ng mga highly organized cities, mga modern cities. Ang ilang mga bus stations, train stations is already incorporated nga nalapod na yung mga commercial establishments on the higher floors, di ba? So it provides not only the basic public service nga gisaan sa gobyerno, but also provides comfort, provides access to different shops and other entertainment or commercial facilities. So kung land usage ang ako ang perspective ng Oscar, pwede magiging siya ma-optimize na ito ang property. No? Ang value magod na ito sa ato property, that's the one thing that kami really Paul, we also look at both land usage and the value we will evaluate na. So the value of the property is really significant. It makes us one of the few LGUs nga daghan jud katigayonan ba. So wala nga certain of the province of Cebu, we have properties located in Cebu City where the pricing of real estate has really escalated. If madayo magaling na siya ang tanaw, I think it would be better for Cebu. Kay basta di lang makompromise ang ato ang promise to the Cebuanos, especially living in the south. Ang ilahang public service, ang ilahang transportation will be more accessible, will be a lot better than what it is now. So kung nga na improvement pakitaan, I think that would be a better suggestion.
Any question from here? Normally,
Si Engineer Paul Nigel Villaripis ang manager sa Mactan Cebu International Airport. May salunan kaab sa pag-develop sa airport sa Santa Fe, sa Islas Montayan. Huwag pa niya bago sa inyong pagkuhalya kay sa una sa administrasyon ang yuta niya ang mga tagiya yuta may nagapaggang sa upgrading sa airport. Kung pala yung airport, tagamit ano yung update?
Parte sa Santa Fe Airport, wala tayong problema niya ito ang contract sa mga landowners na para na-swap na ang atong Airstrip B na ito sa Airstrip A. Wala tayong problema. Kanina rin sa kanotis ang Airstrip SAT nga naman sa province of Cebu. Wala siguro yung rason na nandili na ito ma-develop ang atong Blanca Airport.
Kanang midason sa si Engineer Jarity nga kanang mga flight school diha sa Mactan. Hindi na na-produce yung nakita. Yan, ngayon si Engineer Jarity nangayot na yun sa na si Bugo City Mayor Celestino Martinez may padayag nga at ito na kinahitulungan sa isla sa Batayan which is conducive to the Santa Fe Airport. Yan, ang ilang ekonomiya mo lang mo. Muna ka rin mga paggawas ka rin mga information nga at ito na sa ang apply school at ito na sa Islas Batayan o whatever it will ever. Kaya ako naman paglambo sa ekonomiya na Pilipinas.
Depende na sa gobernador na pagulong sa yung desisyon.
any other questions? Sa balain question regarding sa PGSO?
Follow up, no? Kato galing. Kato, naigon yung ganina din na existing na program na sa kalunasan nga ang guidelines kopyahon lang para sa akong ganilya lang, sir. Asa to sir, kaning program for employees yapon? Sa housing.
Sa kalunasan, ang programa is housing for category employees jointly developed with the GCIS. So, ang GCIS mo na finance yung sa probinsya.
Follow up lang sir, ito sa paano nakaka-clarify. Ato sa syudad bitaw, sir, you mentioned na 18 lang ang response katong para i-relocate sa Minglanilla. You mean the Minglanilla lang ka na IGK? Mo na siya?
Okay, ma'am. Kanang tuli, kanang 8.4 hectares para ginamdan na sa mga occupants diya sa Sundlon o sa Archbishop Reyes na nag-comprise ang Archbishop Reyes of 360 din sa Sundlon mga 314, 315. Parang na dito niya ang ni-response lang pag ayon sa among hangyo, but yun rin kabuok sa kuan 28 dire sa Archbishop Reyes din mga 72 dire sa Sudlon lots.
Families na siya.
Families po.
Asa dati Minglanilla po?
Kuminali sa Tumhaan Ganilla at ban sa Tagaysano bitaw nagpinagiriya.
Sir, walang question lang ako. What particular siguro, sir, paagi or what are the plans siguro na ito nga? Kanilitang uban, kanimang nahabilin na na-occupant sa mga province of Lagos, especially, kanilitang kanila sa Duma sa Archbishop Reyes. Kasi, kita na ito na paagi, sir, na convince ito sila na to vacate dito the area.
We have exerted efforts gani nagdami o kanang megaphone, nagdami ko last call naman October 11. Among kitagsanan sa ginamo sa Kanabay, among ito dito nga. Kamu din pamahawaon na mo din gamito na sa probinsya. Wamagin sila mo na beneficyo na response.
Sir, sa 24 Jugo, pwede mga mamutaan namin, pinaka-equipment pa ang wala pa man over sa Capitol. Kini bang mga Capitol officials ba na wala na sa Capitol and yet they still consider themselves as wala pa ko na mahuman ng kaso, yun na. So, I believe na yung mga i-issue sa ilang equipment like vehicles, armas, and everything. Pero marami sila wala nila may uli.
Mag-test, patabang ko rin wala mag-test. Naglaw, may sa Oscar.
Lingkod. Dahil lingkodan na, no? Lingkodan.
Mr. Oscar.
Ma'am, kanang wako kayo sa tanan empleyado sa Capitol as far as I can remember ang mga officials na akong na-remember na nag-claim na wala pa sila mahawak sa Capitol kaya pumakuha ng kaso. Sila si Sir Roy Salubre, sila Emi Himoyon, sila si Loy Madrigal, sila si Kana.
Okay.
Oo. Si Edwin Mix doon.
First and foremost, ari sa tanan Atty. Salubre. Si Atty. Salubre ang nahibilin na lang ang iyang armas, ang iyang wala na uli ang na lang pistola. Pero ato na siya misuwatan. Reply siya na nagkuhan pa siya sa iyang kaso, nag-apilar.
Kapi Storya.
So, karon nga report na to sa year-end report na to sa 2014, i-appeal na ako sa akong report na ni-reply sa atong letter na pag-demand niya pag-return. Yan na siya yung response na.
2015.
Sa 2014 na reply. So, karon na nato namantay year-end inventory nato i-submit sa COA. So, appeal na sa akong report. Second is Sir Amy Moyon, our budget officer. So far, wala na siya iwan na uli. Vehicles and all, wala man siya ikoptan na parang so ang treasurero raka because ngayon sa iyang trabaho. Ang ikatulo si Loy Madrigal. Ang vehicle na uli na ang agmay na lang ng katong mga ginagmay pero nanatay report na ni Governor through Mr. Sepe. So, nasa tayo demand letter niya.
Kung saan ginagmay mga Ultimax?
Ah?
Sa nagmay.
Ito mga
Automatic.
wala na, return na ang value ba? So, ang report na ko, ang analyzer, ang radio o ang mga radio transceiver,
Oo.
manilay na ko niya o pagkakantina sa
Ang armas man.
ako na tanan i-permahan na tanan sa iyang assistant sa ONA si Sir Kapi.
Si Edwin ma'am.
Ang Kang Sir Edwin na nalay 5
Armas.
armas, pistola. Pero na sa tayo report, atong i-atag ni Sir Sepe o Nigog. Actually, dili ni i-issue directly to Edwin Wisdom. Dito ni sa mga police na na-assign sa governor's office. Pero di man ta kapaperma sa mga backup and other personnel except so proper na accountable person which Edwin Wisdom kaya siya man atong executive chief of staff sa una. So siya na mirma. Pero actually wala na siya kagalingan ng ikoptan.
Pinaka-demand letters. Pinaka-demand letters na itong makadala.
Di na ko kaya.
Ang kanina lima, long arm, short arm,
I think
power.
may mga 38 nga caliber. Oo. Nahiduha ka police nga niya. Ang kuntud sila. Ang usa ka police na wa ang pistola under his custody. In fact, nanatay suwatan na sa kuwa. So he has to pay the accountability niya, which worth of 28,000. Usa ka police na natay i-ikwan sa conduct ongoing ng ilang investigation na ni Sir. O sa Raynawa. Si O4, I don't know. I forget his name. Sorry. Okay na, sir?
Kung wala may questions, we'll proceed with the so, kaya magpasalamat mo po ni Sir June, Sir Paul, Ma'am Marites, Ma'am Bill, Ma'am Panji, Ma'am Marina. Salamat po ni ali sila sa Kapi Storya. I think you're very much interested in homes, mga properties. So, thank you so much for your time and see you next time.